Hey guys, Mariana Trench Productions here, and today I will be showing you some new Octonauts Above and Beyond images, as well as some production images from behind the scenes that are of episodes that have already come out, but are still very interesting. Just a shout out to Octonauts News, who regularly updates the wiki, and I'm sure at some point they'll get a chance to add these images as well. But let's just get straight into it. So, I found these online, and in fact, the first few images I show you I have found online. The next few ones Octonauts News found, so credit to them as well. This one is one of the most exciting ones, but towards the end, the ones that Octonauts News found are also extremely exciting too, so make sure you stick straight to the end. But first off, we have some new title cards. Now this one already came out in Above and Beyond Season 5, The Valley of Flowers. Hopefully you've seen that. It was a nice episode with great scenery. But all the other 5 here are new. I'll just start at the top here. So Tilting Trees, which is a very interesting one. It's nice to see Bud and Tracker together. Octonauts News told me that because they're both Canadian, it's also very nice to see them working together. And Peso's there in the Pterogut 3, so that's quite nice. There isn't much else to say, I don't think. But we see Pani and Min together. Now, we always see Pani and Min together. They're always together. Not always, but so often in the Atmospheric River, the Bar-Headed Goose, Iguazu Falls, and I'm sure there are more examples, but Pani and Min, they like to put them together. And thankfully Quasi's here too, because of course we don't see many Octonauts in these episodes. And 2 monkeys here, Pani and this golden snub-nosed monkey. And then flying spiders, if we just zoom in here, these pictures are a bit blurry, sorry about that. We've got the Vegemals here, can't really tell who's who. I think that might be Tunip, Tomino, Gruber, Codish, maybe that's Barrett, I'm not sure. But those are the 5 Vegemals there. Flying spiders sounds quite nice in a thunderstorm or whatever. Going down to the bottom, Scarlet Macaws. This is nice, we get Calico Jack again. I love Calico Jack, he's a great character, and I'm happy he's back. Of course, we've confirmed almost all the Octo Agents are coming back for Season 6, so we know Pani, of course, he's here. Pearl isn't actually confirmed to be coming back yet, neither is Periwinkle. Tracker, we can see him here, so he's coming back. Min as well is here. Professor Natquick, we don't know. Ranger Marsh, we don't know either. Calico Jack is here. Ryla is coming back because she was in the Australian Wildfire special, which will be in Season 11. And along with that is Selva, Bud, Haraka, and Koshi. Pinto, we don't know either, or the Cubs. I really wish they do come back because, of course, they weren't in Season 5, Above and Beyond Season 5, because that was a difference from the previous 2 seasons, where the Cubs were in both Season 3 and 4. And Pinto was in Seasons 1 and 3, so I expected him to be in Season 5, but for some reason he wasn't. And of course Pete's coming back. The bananas, now this is a nice interesting one, it's even got an exclamation mark at the end. We see Selva, the Vegemals in Pterogut 5, Dashi, Quasi, the Gupems, and some blue bananas, and these look like red or dark pink, purple, bananas, magenta. And there's some sort of animal with Shellington and Selva in the Pterogut 4 there. But I think that's going to be a nice episode. It might be the Vegemal episode of the season, because of course in most seasons in Above and Beyond we do get Vegemal episodes. Of course there's the quest for Coco, the Caribbean king crabs, there are the Malabar giant squirrel. Yeah, there are definitely examples. Moving on from those, here are some production images. Hopefully you've seen these before in my Season 5 video. Adam Cable had a bunch of these images, he was one of the designers or whatever, and there are some more like these for Season 5. I will make a video about that soon. Very interesting. I think Octonauts News has already added some of those images to the wiki. So you can just have a read. Some of the images are very blurry, but this is the Octocam. It's not really one of my favorite things that Tweaks made. Of course, it's sort of a rip-off of the Rover Cam. It's the same color, same sort of shape. But yeah, you can have a look. There's not much to say. It just shows you the episode name at the top, so 639. I'll decipher this for you. So the 6 is the season. As I said, Octonauts Above and Beyond is just Season 6 to 11, and you can see this, it shows you here, so 6 being Season 6, which is Above and Beyond Season 1, so the 39th episode of Season 1, and you may think this episodes and seasons only go up to 26, well actually what happens in the production side, Above and Beyond Season 1 to 2, which we would call Season 6 to 7, is actually Season 6 together, so the episodes are grouped into 52, so Season 6 is actually 2 seasons, Season 7 is also 2 seasons, and Season 8 is the final season with the last 52 episodes. So the episode ordering is also wrong on BBC and Netflix, because the 39th episode, which is after 26, so it's definitely in the second part of season 6. That would be episode, if you subtract 26, that would be episode 13 or whatever, and The Secret Beneath the Snow is not episode 13. I'm pretty sure of that. I did have a look for some of these, but some of them may be right. You've had a look at this one, let's go on to the next one. Up here, this one's very blurry, these two, but this is from the 12-year bloom. You can see this is the honeydew melon. You can't really read much of the writing, so I think I'm just going to go off this one. Same with this one, this is the honey cake from the same episode. They have size relations, usually Barnacles and Quasi, but this time they have Tune-Up as well because he's the one making it, and references, so this is the Very Vegetable Christmas. And just to mention, they also do have dates, so you can see when these were made. So they started in 2019, the earliest one did say 2019, this one says 2020, it makes sense because it's Above and Beyond Season 2, or Season 6, behind the production side, and Season 7 if you count it as 26 episodes. It's sort of confusing, but hopefully you understand. And Ranger Marsh size reference because he's the one who drives this swamp boat, which is nice. The Gup M Mulcher Muncher attachment. It says Mulch Muncher here. The Snag Hotel. The Snag Hotel, I'm pretty sure, was the first episode of Above and Beyond Season 2, so that would be 627 or 28, depending on how they do the specials. And it's 643, so it clearly wasn't the first episode of the second half that they made. So you can tell the ordering's not always right. Or BBC changes it, same with Netflix. This is, of course, not to do with Netflix because it's from the Caddisfly Silk episode, which is Season 7. As I said, Above and Beyond Season 3 and 4 is Season 7, behind the scenes. And Seasons 5 and 6 of Above and Beyond are Season 8. So Season 8 hasn't come out in English yet, fully or officially either. So this is the silk squirter Bud uses. It says generic silk line color for other episodes. I don't think they've used it ever again. They might in future episodes because there are still about 26 more that we haven't seen, and then Octonauts will be over, unfortunately. I'll talk about that in another video. But you can see the different aspects they do, all the work that goes into making this. Even though there are some mistakes in the show, it's always nice to see how much effort they do put in and all these different things. And these are only a handful of images. There's a lot more that goes on. So this is the bubble color that Pete has. Sorry, I said color. The bubble. It's just the bubble, the Octo bubble that Pete has. They also have a script reference from the same episode, being the Spider Crab Surprise, 728. And yes, that does make sense because that would be after 26, so it's Above and Beyond Season 4. And it's also Season 7, so it's Season 3 and 4 together. Hopefully you've got your head around that. It can be a bit confusing. I'm not sure what you guys would prefer, just for me to call it Above and Beyond Seasons 1 to 6, or call it how the production team do only Seasons 6, 7 and 8, or even just Seasons 6 to 11. That's what I usually like to go by because they always release the seasons in separate halves. As you saw, Netflix had the first 2 seasons. That makes sense because that would be Season 6 on the production side, and then BBC had Season 7, which was in reality 2 seasons when they released Above and Beyond Season 3 and 4. Moving on, this is the chameleon from the Mystery Island, from Socotra. It was nice to learn about that. I quite liked that episode. Made in 2020. This was one of the episodes that the title was leaked on IMDb, but this and the Arabian Camels was on there for ages, years ago, before the episodes had even come out, and nobody really knew what they were until Above and Beyond Season 2 came out. The butterflies from the Monarch Butterfly. You can see for some reason they changed the text here. The writing's white for the information. Here it's black here. I don't know why. Maybe they just changed the layout. But again, you've got the size references and some more stuff. I mainly just had these images to show you guys because most of you probably won't have seen these, or any of you, and I always like to share what I come across. Some toucans from the Quest for Coco. Size reference again. As you can see, they always like to have Barnacles and Quasi, the main 2 characters. It's nice that they don't have Piney there or whatever. And yes, maybe, just maybe, if we had gotten a proper Season 5, they would have actually called this Season 6. I know it took a different turn with all the Octo Agents, and maybe they would have kept as a spin-off series and made it still Seasons 1 to 6, but China still calls it Season 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. So I don't think it really needed to be called a spin-off. It just took a very different turn. It was still a continuation. So yes, I'm pretty sure these are going onto the images that Octonauts News found, because this is by a different artist, Ernie Chan, you can see here. Before, these were by Derek Desierto. I'm not sure if they're allowed to put these images out from the production side, but it's nice they are out so we can see them and just have a look. So this was Octo plans. There are some more, I'm pretty sure. You can have a look, pause the video if you like. They've used this side walling, the wall texture in the Octo, and I really love this image because it gives you a full 3D view of the two engines and the middle bit and the panel which opens at the back, and you've got this door which I don't know where it leads, but it's a door there. And yes, there were a couple title cards that Ernie Chan did do, and these were made. It doesn't say. I'm just going to have a look at this. I haven't had a proper read of this. S6B, is that? Oh, I think I do actually, S6B, because if you think about it, as I said, season 6 on the production side is actually season 6 and 7 together, and then season 7 is season 9, 8 and 9, and then season 8 is 10 and 11. It's really hard to get your head around that, but let me just say it again so you understand. Season 6 on the production side is above and beyond seasons 1 and 2 together. Season 7 is above and beyond seasons 3 and 4, and then season 8 is above and beyond seasons 5 and 6. I almost got confused myself there. So season 6B is the second part of season 6. The second part of season 6 would be above and beyond season 2. It's the second part, season 2, not above and beyond season 1. And that would make sense because these two episodes are in above and beyond season 2. I hadn't noticed that before, I just thought I'd think out loud for you guys. So the Red Fox and the Lonely Frog, for some reason they do look slightly different to how the title cards turned out. Maybe that's just me, but not all the title cards are done by Ernie Chan. As I showed at the beginning, the same Derek made these title cards, so they are made by different people, I guess. Or maybe it's just the lighting and stuff. The art is made by one person, because they do look fairly similar. There's nothing too different about that. Moving on, this is the Reef base, which is nice because this is one of the later episodes in the second half of the Above and Beyond production. So this was the design phase, the concept, and Mainframe suggests adding doors to the side of the HQ area. Mainframe is the Mainframe Studios, the company that helped create the show from season 5 onwards, the movies as well, and Above and Beyond. Grid texture or something for artificial reef. Sorry, I can't read that, it's very blurry. Doors slide down, lights. It's just some really nice concept art that we don't see. I suppose you could use this for colouring if you want. If you like colouring whatever, you could print these off and, you know, colour the reef base in. Now this is new. Underwater gups enter no door, just tunnel that connects to underwater hangar. We didn't know there was an underwater hangar because we never saw that in any of the episodes. This is also a question to SGM, that's Silvergate Media, also part of the team, now Sony Pictures Television Kids. Do we want the support beam on the landing pads to crash together with the added struts? Not really sure what that means, can't really visualize that, but maybe you know. Can't read that bit over there. Front back profile L, which is left, profile R, which is right. And we get the top and bottom view. Now I tried deciphering this. This is the Octoray, this is the Terragup 8, the Octoblimp, the Terragup 6. But what is this? Is it just a bad attempt at the Gup H or what? Because there's no other Gup shaped like this, I'm pretty sure, unless I missed something. But the Gup H has 4 rotors, not 3, like this is showing. So it's probably just a mistake, but I thought I'd point that out. The bottom, nothing too significant. It's always nice to see. There's not, much to say here, but it's just lots of nice visuals. This is from the Iguazu Falls episode. I'll just zoom in a bit. Bud, where the tree is intact. Then he chews straight through, or munches through the tree. This is just a reference, which is quite nice. 3D models the Terragup 8. Can't really tell who these characters are. That might be Barnacles and Quasi. This is the storyboard art. This is from the Snag Hotel. Again, Above and Beyond Season 2. The second part of Season 6. Rope, the bridge. It's quite nice, the image of the Terragup on here. And the new rope. Again, there's not much else to say, but it's just really nice to see these images. This one's really nice, the Terragup 9. Of course, we haven't seen many of the other Terragups in these production images. We do see the Terragup 8 later on. I'll show you that. But again, Octonauts News found these images, so make sure to check out their channel and subscribe. They've made lots of nice videos. So this is Barnacles, Tweak, Peso, and you really can't tell who that is in the back. Could be Quasi or Shellington or whoever. Tweak's eyes are just gone for some reason. But here's a nice front, 3/4 front view of the Pterogob 9. The back with the rear lights. Rain cover opens or closes. Now this is really interesting. Pros and cons. Hull feels less claustrophobic. Clear view of the back door. Lack of real estate for screens. Additional gadgets. So when they were creating the designs for this scarp, they had two options how they wanted to make things. They wanted to either put this railing here or instead have this box shape or this hexagon shape and have more computer screens either side. I'll tell you in a moment which option they went for, because I did actually look it up to make sure, because I didn't know off the top of my head. They haven't shown this cup very much. The inside as well is not shown very much at all. We don't really see it, to be honest, which is a shame. Hopefully we see that later on. I think it must have been because of the screens and the gadgets that they couldn't have. That's why they went for option B. So yeah, now I'm telling you, they did go for option B. So instead of railing, they went for the wall with this section so they could have more screens, which is fine. I feel like it's a little closed down. It seems more like what Octonauts would do, because this I have to say looks very much like an army cup or whatever. This one is very open. I think it's quite nice. It's nicer. You can get more light in or whatever, because there are no windows at the back, just one at the front. Moving on, you can have a read of the bottom bits as well, but the wheels, they can extend apparently, and they turn on a pivot like this. I think that's quite nice. It looks pretty cool. Suspension and the side profile, and that's everything here. This was really nice image, one of my favorites. Now more of the reef base, the interior, the colors. Let's go on to the left here, sorry. So you've got the base plan. It's got this nice compass with the octawiller, and this is the table. I really love the table. It's really cool. The steering wheel here, although they never really use it. They never have used it, but maybe they will. The Jumbotron. So that's a new name. The Jumbotron, that little screen. You'll see it in a second. In fact, I'll show you. Here's the Jumbotron. You can see it in the episodes as well. I love this image. It's really nice, detailed. Inkling down here, Barnacles and Professor Natquick. Very grey and soulless there. Windows will use a scrolling cyclorama, so they just use the same clips over and over for the windows here. We probably wouldn't notice because it just looks normal, but that's the kind of things they do. And they do a lot of stealing. By that I mean they take from rooms in the octopod, so a lot of stuff from the sick bay. In fact, they call it the infirmary, which is what the books called it. They take from there and put it there, and Dashy's room, they steal stuff, put it in the reef base. That's in the octaray, those two. The HQ, Barnacles' room, the library, the HQ over here. So they definitely take a lot of stuff. You can see this front section is inspired by the Octopod HQ. I do like the reef base, it's very spacious. So that's this image covered. This one is from the monitor lizards in Sudan. I'm not sure we learned that in the episode that they're in Sudan, but we learned that now, which is nice. It's got a really nice layout here of the artwork, and lots of props they put in. Quasi here, and this crocodile with the baboons. Not much else. Well, they do have papyrus down here, papyrus construction, so maybe this is also leaning in towards the Weaver Bird episode. Not sure about that. This one's also very nice, from the Spider Crab Surprise. Just a very nice lighting image of Calico Jack and Pete in the bubble. And you've got this one up here, although this one of course doesn't look very good because it doesn't have the lighting properly done. I think that was one of the main issues with season 5, the lighting, the shadows, it just wasn't done properly. So this is definitely very important. This one from the sea turtle's shell, the repair station rings. Now I had a fun time guessing which one they actually went for, and then looked up to see which one they did go for. Maybe you know, maybe you watched the episode recently, but they did go for option C. I guessed that they had gone for option B. D and E don't look very nice. I do think B and A look quite nice, but they went for C, which is fine. But they always try out different things and see which ones look the best. Here's the turtle with Barnacles and Quasi. In fact, there's even a ghost Barnacles down here. I didn't notice this at first, but when I looked at the image again, I saw him. He's just standing there lifelessly in the repair station, and you can see all the different bits in the background. I think it's nice they included the background to make it look more like the episode. This is just a loggerhead sea turtle reused, but that's fine. More on the Octoray. This was at the very beginning, one of the earliest images, 2019. Oh, artists, it's got Ernie and Steph, so 2 people worked on this, not just Ernie. Chen, was it? Sorry, I forgot already. So you can just have a look. I'm not going to read all of this. It's just very interesting. Just pause the video if you need to. Just going to scroll down now. I think this mechanism is a bit weird, because how do the wings actually go inside the Octoray? It shows you how they work, but where do they go inside the Octoray? Do they just cut through something? It's a bit weird. Onto this side. This is the colouring, the final colour. Now this one's very nice, from Mountain River Cave 626. So that's the very last episode of Above and Beyond Season 1. Even though I don't think it is, it might be. I'm pretty sure it's not though. I think it's close to the end, but it's not the very end. You can see the Dolene here. For some reason the Octoray is very blurry, like it's in motion. The Woodlouse area, if you remember the Woodlouse there, you've got a small quasi there. The tunnel, another quasi. So it sort of shows you the path they take. So they go across here through the cave, and then they sort of get carried away through the rapids, as it says. They find this place, and then they find the Woodlouse, and then they start going across here to the Dolene. The tiger follows them all the way here, and then they get airlifted out. This is the Pterogup H1. As you can see, it was very different, the early concepts of it. It looks very weird like this. It's definitely not what we got in the end. This is a different concept to the one that we got. It originally had a second floor, which you can kind of see here with the railing going around and this ladder leading up. I kind of like that it had a second floor, although this design is very weird. I wouldn't like this design. I mean, maybe. It definitely looks like the Gup T though. And as I said, they do steal a lot of stuff, so they take these tools from the garden pod. And these are Selva's designs actually down here. Her symbol, her little shovel, her Octowatch, her colour palette. Very blurry again, sorry. The images aren't in any better quality. Another Octoray one, this is more colour and different props, although this is very 2D. Got Peso here. For some reason they decided to go with Peso this time. Yes, episode 600, so the first episode of season 6, the Skeleton Coast Adventure. I hadn't noticed this before, but yeah, again, very nice to see the first episode information. Whoops. So they've got the chairs here, the captain's chair and the generic chair, the back wall, and you can see they steal the kitchen symbol to put on the back wall and make the door like the one in the Octolab. The railing, and just a map of the whole area. They have the 2 little sections here, the lift. They don't show many of the other rooms, which is a bit of a shame, but I think they probably only animated them in the 2nd season, so that's fine. The lab area, just some pictures and the layout. Same with the Tweak's room. So yeah, this is called Tweak's room. This one is from the Flooded Forest, where we see Berta again. This thing is the map. I don't really think we needed this, but it's fine. It just looks a bit weird, like, you know, a petri dish with bacteria growing or whatever. References, the Hippos episode, season 4, episode 18. I'm not sure if that's right. I think I did check it and it wasn't episode 18. Maybe I'm wrong with that though. Papaya tree. They steal elements from the other Amazon episodes. The trees, the bushes, and the bush from Ireland. So in the Amazon you have an Irish bush, but yeah. Mossy Rock Cluster 617. Of course, we don't know which episode 17 was because it's always different. They never give us the proper ordering for anything except for season 5, which is a bit weird. The Chinese did get the order correct, and so did BBC. If you took out the other 22 episodes, the 5 episodes, English ones that you're left with, are still in the right order. And they've got a bunch of Parnies over here and lots of different numbers for the references to the script. Next, this one's from Iguazu Falls again. Just going to show you the images. We'll go to the right. Pterogup 3. Again, feel free to pause the video at times if you want a closer look, but I've shown most of this, like this one, and you probably can see what I'm already telling you, so I don't need to say much more. Min grayscale version though, for some reason, unlike Pani and Min again. And these images should be updated to the wiki at some point, so make sure to check that out. Again, Octonauts News is to thank for that. Now this is my favourite one, personal favourite. The Terragup 9 one's also pretty nice, but the workshop images, Bud's workshop. This is one of the most exciting rooms that Octonauts has ever made. It's really cool. I'll show you in a second. You can have a read of the things written on the right side, the props used. So pause the video if you need to read that. But over here, we've got the GUP Q. In fact, it tells you what's in here. It's got the GUP Q plans, the GUP X was written somewhere, I remember. Surfboard, it said Pinto's suitcase somewhere, so if you find that, then well done. It might be this over here, the orange one. It's got wooden versions of the GUP R, the GUP A, the Octoray, and lots of nice stuff. The best bit though is this bit where the Season 5 images are. There's something written here. Now I couldn't decipher this myself. I caught a couple words like Season 5 images. Octonauts News deciphered the rest for me, and I still remember what it says. Note to SGM, mainframe does not have access to Season 5 images. As I said, SGM is Silvergate Media, and mainframe does not have access to the Season 5 images. I'm not sure what that means, as if they don't have access to anything for Season 5, which is really upsetting and scary, but yeah, they don't have access to the images. I don't know why or how they're here then, if they didn't have access to them, or what's going on, why that was needed. But it's nice that they put them in. They obviously know Bud is from Season 5 and bring this image from Season 5. This is a snapshot from Season 5, and this is the Miyomi art of the 5 beavers, which is really nice. I wish we got a closer look at those images in one of the shots of the episodes, but we don't get too close. We do see it in nice quality, but not the best. It's even got some sort of Octonauts shield badge here, which is cool. And some other stuff. That's the GUP X prints there. Some buckets. This is the termite mound. Some images of Bianca and the Arctic Adventure. For some reason they chose that episode. This looks like a remote control Terragup 4, because you know it's a car, it's nice to make it like that. This is just the same image with the doors and the beams, and these are the wooden images. You can have a look, have a read. I'll zoom in a bit for you guys. These two first. They're just saying to remove all the little details, because of course these are wooden models and you don't want there to be too many details. And yeah, that is pretty much it. I hadn't intended to save it the best for last, but it just happened that way. This was the very last image in the slideshow. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think, what your favourite production images was, what you think of these new episodes that we'll be getting next year. And I do think Above and Beyond Season 5 will air soon later this year. If not this year, then very first thing next year, because they had Above and Beyond Season 1 in 2021, Season 2 in 22, Season 3 in 23, Season 4 in 24, and you can guess that they're going to have Season 5 in 2025. So I hope that happens, and we should get a couple new episodes along with that, because the Chinese episodes aren't always in order. Please also make sure to check out my other channels and see if you like those videos, and hopefully I'll see you next time for a Season 5 video, and then I can give this channel a bit of a break. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.